Good evening and welcome to Foxborough's Conservation Commission meeting of December 15th, 2025 in the Gala Meeting Room, Town Hall. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. Being 7 o'clock, I'll open the meeting. Do we have any public comments? Do we have some minutes?
We don't have any minutes. I saw, Craig, that you sent over the revised ones this morning, but I haven't had a chance to look at them yet.
Okay. Chris, how long is that land transfer going to take?
Hopefully quick. Let's do it.
Okay. We have a land transfer at the Oak Street well sites. Mr. Gallagher?
All right. So, man. All right. Good evening. My name is Chris Gallagher. I'm the DPW director. Here tonight to discuss a land transfer from the town of Foxboro to the town of Foxboro Conservation Commission. This is a 30-acre parcel off of Oak Street, map 47, lot 87, really at the intersection of Oak Street and Lamson Road. This is a parcel that back in 2021, the town meeting to have this transfer approved. This was part of a conservation management permit that we were working on with the state at the time when we did some wells at the adjacent water department property. We did not close out that permit. We are now back before the State Division of Fish and Wildlife for our second PFAS water treatment plant down on Lamson Road. So they are back looking for this permit. So part of this permit is to protect a frosted elfin butterfly habitat area. This parcel, actually when the original Oak Street water treatment plant was built back in 2013, there was the frosted elfin butterfly was identified as a priority habitat and species on that property. The town relocated over 200 indigo plants, which is the plant that these butterfly thrive on, over to this parcel. Anybody who's walked over there is about 2 acres of cleared land just before you get to Gavin's Pond, kind of out on the back, always at the Sharon Town line. The permit that we're going to see and receive from the state will require this property to be managed habitat area. In order to do that, we need to transfer that into the Conservation Commission's hands under Article 97, so it becomes our Article 97 property. The permit will specify 13.4 acres of managed habitat area on this 30-acre parcel. That will give us our required land area for disturbance from the original plant and the existing plant as well. So really just looking to move forward with what the town voted on back in May of 21. And then once we're done here tonight, I'll bring this before the select board tomorrow. They'll affirm the vote of the Concom, take their own vote to finalize the land transfer. The deed you should have, but the deed does state, kind of highlights specifically that the land is to be restricted by the Division of Fish and Wildlife to remain undeveloped and protected as habitat for the listed species of the frosted elfin butterfly. Any future work on the property would then need their approval. This is something that is going to take us a few years to get this property into the habitat area that they would like to see. It's going to require some land clearing. There's really only about 2 acres of cleared land over there, so we're going to be taking down a lot of mature trees on the property, which seems counterintuitive, but for this particular species is a requirement to get that property where they would like it, hopefully to get the butterfly to thrive again over there. All that work will be done by the water department enterprise funds. We're trying to wrap in the initial land clearing to our SRF funding and the PFAS water treatment plant that'll be hopefully under construction sometime July or August of this upcoming year, so that the initial land clearing will be done in kind of one swoop. But it's going to look different than it does now. And we already know we mowed it quick last spring, and we got a lot of comments from people as to why we were doing what we were doing. So there's some public education that'll go along with it. Part of the permit will be to add signage throughout the site, identifying what we're doing and why we've done it. So tonight's really just to accept the transfer from the town to conservation. And then, like I said, tomorrow night I'll be at the select board to finalize that portion of this, and then we move on with Division of Fish and Wildlife to get that permit in hand.
Okay. I just want to reaffirm that in May of 21 at the town meetings, Article 20 and 21 were both approved by the town for this transfer. So it's nothing new. So, and I think, Diana, you have some required reading for the...
Yes. They sent below the steps to follow for the public meeting. You will reference the deed and this document. So I have to read this.
Okay, could you get a little closer to the mic just for the... Okay, thank you.
The deed for the open space must include the following language. Quote, dedicated to the public for the sole purpose of conservation of natural resources and passive recreation pursuant to Chapter 184 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth, including for the purpose of, but not limited to, the conservation of species listed pursuant to General Law, Chapter 131A, et sequent, which shall be considered the most important conservation purpose for which this land is to be protected in perpetuity, held under the care and custody of the Foxborough Conservation Commission pursuant to General Law, Chapter 48C, and under Article 97 of the amendments to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Any proposed use, including but not limited to passive recreational developments, trails, vegetation, or soil alteration, must be approved by the Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Wildlife pursuant to their authority under General Law, Chapter 131A, et seq. Votes of the Conservation Commission in support of this acceptance of land was taken on the December 15th, 2025 meeting. And the Select Board on December 16th, 2025. So that has been read into the record and
Okay.
will be copied verbatim into the minutes.
All right.
So now it says, the Foxborough Conservation Commission needs to read number 1, which I just did, at an advertised public meeting, which this is. Now you need to take a vote that you accept the open space map 47, parcel 87, as recorded, book 7338, page 381, with the above language as read at the hearing.
Do I hear a motion?
Do we have a copy of that map?
Copy of this email.
No, map. Is that what you showed up
Here,
there?
I'll pull up the map. Get out of the way. There it is. So this is actually an ANR plan that we did, brought before Planning Board last Thursday. So this 30-acre map 47 parcel 87 is the piece of property that we're discussing. You can actually see this dash line was actually done several years ago as what we were contemplating at the time, the conservation easement and restriction area. This may be adjusted a little bit depending on what the Division of Fish and Wildlife want to see as far as where the habitat area can actually fit on that lot. It has some restrictions. You can't put it on a hillside, so it's got to be fairly level ground. We're trying to stay away from the buffer zone for Gavin's Pond, as well as give the people on Atherton Road, Austin Lane, a little bit of buffer, maintain some of that buffer to where this new cleared area is going to be.
You'll get the biggest pushback from that area because they use that woods a lot, so.
Sure, yep.
Now, does the access road go through that area too?
The
Habitat area?
So there is, off of Lamson Road, do I have the aerial? There is an access road that comes off of Lamson Road, probably somewhere down in this area here, way down to the right corner of the map. It does come up through towards what's listed as Parcel A. That open area kind of straddles Parcel A and this map, 47 Parcel 87 here. That's where the existing indigo plants are that we'll maintain, and then we have to build off that approximately 2 acres from there.
So have they already said how much has to be eventually cleared and?
We are 13.4 acres is the requirement. So that goes back to when they built the original plant, like I said, when it was being permitted in 2011, 2012. The requirement at that point in time was 9.9 acres for the road work down to the plant, the clearing of the plant area itself. And then the new PFAS plant is going to require an additional 1.5 acres. And then because we did not do what we were supposed to do when we were supposed to do it, they've tacked on an additional 2 acres. So we're at 13.4 is the total. There'll be a little bit bonus. Parcel A, which is going to stay in the hands of the water department, in order to get rid of water supply land, DEP gets involved. So now you have 2 state agencies that would need to discuss this, and would require at least 48 days for them to review this, and the timeline just does not work for us to get this permit in hand and bid out the project. So we're able to get all 13.4 acres on this parcel. There's like an additional 1 acre, 1.5 acres on Parcel A that we will be written into the permit. We will maintain that. It just won't be deed restricted to conservation property.
I assume that some of this land has to be cleared, like you mentioned, they're mature trees, but when would that be? They tell you when that's going to be?
So, because the only species listed over there is the butterfly, anything outside of the spring, we're able to do that land clearing. So that initial tree clearing will take place as part of the PFAS plant process. So when they come in to clear the acre of land for the new PFAS building, we're going to have them clear that land as well, so that there's one company coming on doing all that work. Hopefully we get a better price for having that work done. So I would expect probably July, August, that initial clearing will be done. Then from there, there's a lot of invasive species management. So once we cut down and remove a lot of those invasive species, it's going to be some of it's pesticides, it's by hand herbicides. Actually, like sometimes it's dipping your finger in the herbicide and rubbing it on the stump to make sure it dies in place. And then it's going to be annual mowing and maintenance on top of that, just to make sure that the indigo plant is the primary species of plant growing out there.
They're going to make you plant some more of them?
They think there's enough seed banks in the ground that once we disturb it and remove the larger trees, that they'll just grow in on their own based on what's already in the ground.
Sounds interesting. Interesting. At least you don't have to do prescribed burn. In some places
That is one of the options.
Management option. Yeah.
As a management option. Once we get the initial clearing done, to maintain that is an option. We've been looking at it. There's only one burn boss, like on the entire East Coast. He's out of New Jersey, and that's part of doing a prescribed burn. You need somebody who's obviously qualified to do that work. But that land disturbance is one of the things that helps this plant thrive, is land disturbance. So, the 2 recent Massachusetts wildlife magazines have 2 great articles about prescribed burns that they've done and what's come back, native species. Right.
And rather interesting, very long.
Yeah. We've read them.
Anything else?
You want me to read this again?
No, I don't think you have to.
Okay.
Okay. Someone want to move that motion?
I'll make a motion to affirm the map. Is that the right wording?
You need to take a vote that you accept the open space map 47, parcel 87, as recorded in book 7338, page 381, with all the above language that I had read before.
I make a motion to accept the map.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? And do you have a second one, or is that it? Okay.
No, then you need to sign this, and then Chris is going to take this to the select board tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
And they
okay.
reaffirm the vote, and then all of their signatures get notarized, but these ones do not. It didn't attach any,
Now, last
so I'm
time
assuming they're
it was-
not.
I had to have my signature notarized.
There's
for
nothing.
something else.
I mean, if they find it afterwards, I guess we'll have you come back and notarize it, but
Yeah.
I'll bring it to Mr. Cutler after signatures and make sure he does what he's supposed to do with it.
Okay. I know for another deed transfer, I had to have mine, everybody else's could sign, but I had to have mine
Okay.
notarized.
yeah, you can look through it, Jim.
Not
It has all the,
illegal.
I just looked through the names quick, and it looked like all the select board members.
Document, right? This is gonna go to the Norfolk Registry.
Yeah.
So it's okay, I can sign it there.
We might have to sign in front of a notary tomorrow.
Well, shall I not sign this now?
Maybe check. Whichever color, yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
can
he's
talk
gonna
to
be
him tomorrow.
required to, at least one of us.
Yeah, because he's going to have to, he'll have to stamp it after the select board signs it.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing, I didn't know if I remember seeing 2 certifications or just the one.
Okay, well, I will make myself available
Okay.
and come and see Bob.
All right, I'll let you know. Thank you.
No sense in,
Sure. Yep.
thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Probably won't see you, but have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
It being 7:05, we have 138 Washington Street. Mr. Gray? And do we have a file number yet?
I didn't see one.
Okay.
I checked the website earlier today.
I haven't received any emails. It's listed on the state page, but there's no file number.
Okay. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Foxborough's Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Chapter 267, the Conservation Commission will open a public hearing on Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 7:05 p.m. in the Gala Meeting Room, Foxborough, Mass., Town Hall, 40 South Street, or via Zoom on a notice of intent filed by Bay Colony Group, Inc., for the construction of 9 buildings along with associated parking, utilities, and drainage at 138 Washington Street, Assessors Map 51, Parcel 14. Portions of the proposed work lie within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. Application is available for public inspection in the Conservation Office at Town Hall. This notice can also be found on the Massachusetts Newspapers Publishers Association website.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. For the record, my name is Cameron Gray, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the client to discuss notice of intent for a project at 138 Washington Street. If I could share my screen, I'll put up the rendering that I just handed out. So 138 Washington Street is an existing parcel of land. It's approximately 7.2 acres, and it's located on the southeastern side of Route 1. And it's located behind 140 Washington Street, which is that long skinny building here, and 1000 Washington Street. So this parcel was created by subdividing 1000 Washington Street into 2 lots. Just a little bit of history about 1000 Washington Street, where we're proposing this development. That land was actually previously owned by Foxborough Conservation, and it was acquired by the previous owner in a land swap for a parcel of land on Lakeview Road. So that parcel was swapped with the intent that in the future this would be developed. Mr. Bodie, you might have some knowledge about that, but
A few years ago.
yeah, it was before my time, definitely. So the property contains bordering vegetated wetlands located in the eastern portion of the property, which you can see in the light green. And there's also a bordering vegetated wetland located off-site to the south, down here in this corner in the blue. And then there's also an intermittent stream, again located off-site up here to the northeast, which I have labeled. So the wetland line was reviewed and approved by the commission in ANRAD back in September. So our client is proposing the construction of 9 multi-unit buildings, along with the associated parking, drainage, and septic system. A portion of the building's parking, grading, and stormwater basin will lie within that 100-foot buffer zone. So about 37,856 square feet of buffer zone will be altered due to the buildings and the parking. And an additional 31,248 square feet of buffer zone will be altered due to the grading and the stormwater basin. So in total, that's about 69,104 square feet altered due to the construction of this project. So the buildings will sit about 29 feet from the wetlands at its closest point. The parking area will sit about 32 feet from the wetlands. And the clearing / grading will take place about 26 feet from the wetlands at its closest point. We're not proposing any work within the 25-foot no disturb. This site will be serviced by municipal water, and we're proposing a conventional septic system. And that's located in the northwestern portion of the site, which you can see here. Those are the gray trenches. That'll be my septic field. So that's located underneath an access way to gain access to the back of these buildings, and that meets the required setback of at least 150 feet from the wetlands. The stormwater system was designed to comply with all state and local regulations. And so access to the site will take place over a common entrance that's already been constructed with 140 Washington Street. So I was able to do a site walk out there with Craig and kind of showed him. But if you drive past this parcel, currently you'll notice that the mouth of the driveway is really wide and it's got granite curbing on it. So it's sized in anticipation of this development at some point. So a stabilized construction entrance will be installed prior to start construction at the edge of that access. And additional erosion control for this project will consist of silt socks and silt sacks installed before construction and will be maintained until the project is completed. And then I know we didn't get our Mass DEP number, but this project is also going before Planning Board for site plan approval. So we don't have any, we don't expect the project to be closed tonight, and we're fine with continuing it. We haven't received any word from the consultants or the town's consultant engineer regarding this project. I think that's about it.
My first question is there any control over you got 32 different potential renters or purchasers of this. Is there any control over what they can and cannot do in that site?
I'm
thinking of hazardous waste.
Yeah, I understand. So not currently. So the idea behind these individual units is for them to act as individual contractor bays. But we haven't thought about what's going to be actually going in there. We figure it's just going to be more of the contractors that would be around town, whether it's a plumber or electrician. But if it was something that dealt with hazardous materials, that would obviously need to be dealt with.
What is the blue dash line supposed to represent that goes through part of Unit 18 and next to 29?
So that's a Zone A. Yep, I got it labeled right up here. So we're allowed to develop in there, but I have to keep my stormwater structures out of that area. So that's kind of why my stormwater basin here has a unique shape in order to stay out of that area.
So there's a pretty significant grade change. I think it's about 10 feet that you're going to lift it up in the southern portion of the lot, where Unit 26 is sort of right up to that 25-foot buffer. It's going to be an extra 10 feet up. I'm curious how you can build it so close without disturbing beyond. I don't know if that's 4 feet you mentioned or.
Oh, okay, yep, I see what you're talking. Yeah, so I graded these down in this area since we're so close to the buffer zone here. So when they construct these buildings, essentially the foundation is going to be acting as a retaining wall. So they're going to have to build up from that point.
Great. And then, so the rest of that can be built without needing machinery back there?
Yeah. So I know there's a couple spots where we come really close to it, and I know we had this discussion on site, but we spec usually those stone strong walls, which can be constructed with a pretty small footprint. They only need to go beyond about 9 inches, I think, from the face of the wall. So it allows them to construct it in a trench. And then in terms of the foundation, that would have to be something that they keep in mind. Again, they can't do a footing going beyond. They would have to come back towards the site as opposed to going towards the wetlands.
Are they going to have basements, or are they all on slab?
They're all slab.
Are they going to have drains inside the slab?
I believe if it has a garage door, we need to do some type of drainage for floor drains if a vehicle can access into there. So if that is the case, we'll end up having to put a tight tank or something like that on site.
That comes back to Bob's question about what they store in it. If you get drains on the floor and they're cleaning or anything gets spilled.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a building code. So if a vehicle can access the building, we're required to have floor drains in it, and those drain to a tight tank, which it's 2 tanks inside of itself with an alarm on it. So it just needs to be maintained properly.
That tank, like one tank for each unit kind of a thing, or?
They would probably end up tying it together for each building. But you just got to make sure our tank is sized properly.
So you're anticipating driving into each one of these, then, all 9 buildings?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you expect site plan approval, will have conditions about the types of use for each one of these bays, or no?
I'm not sure.
Because, when you come back, you're going to have to come back, and I'm sure, maybe even the stormwater, will that design change as well? If the
In terms of the
engineer
use?
looks at it? Yeah.
So I don't anticipate it would change that much. It all depends on what the consultant comes back with and when we have to address those questions.
When do you expect?
I mean, we submitted this a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah.
it's hard to pin those.
Check just got deposited this week, so they don't start it until the check clears, I think.
And planning's going to require, those responses, right? Before
Yeah.
you would take any.
Yeah, so we always try and do these together, as you guys know, so
Okay.
we want to make sure we addressed everyone's comments before we go around and start closing the hearings.
Okay.
So question is everything going to go into the drainage basin, or are you putting some of it underground underneath the paving?
Nope, everything's proposed to go into that basin.
And that's big enough?
Yep.
Is there a snow removal plan? Like-
Yep, so if you look on the site plan, if you guys have it, I have a SWEP and snow storage. And in there.
And is that, there's a guardrail all along the back? Is that,
Yeah, so anywhere where I have the wall, I propose a guardrail at the top of it. So there should be a snow storage plan on sheet 9.
Yeah. Thank you.
So is snow storage supposed to be in these red areas? Is that what I'm?
Yes,
affiliating
correct.
this, or-
and if it exceeds that, they'll take it off site? Is that,
Yeah, so I have a calculation in there.
and with the guardrail in there, they can't just like
Yeah, dump it off.
accidentally
Yeah,
dump it
so,
off the back, which is what I was concerned about.
yeah, so with them piling on site, all of it will drain into the on-site stormwater system. So my calculations, I anticipate they can store up to a 32-inch storm there before they have to bring it off-site.
Anything else for tonight?
Are there plans for another site walk? Would there be,
Yeah, we can do a sidewalk, that's no problem.
I will say it's not an easy site to walk.
no?
It was a lot easier. I visited it in September, August with Lauren
Uh-huh.
Gluck from PAR,
Yeah.
and it was quite overgrown and gnarly. It was a lot easier when you could see your footing at this time of year,
Yeah.
I will say. So
Oh.
there are still a lot of brambles, but it's walkable.
Would anyone like to do a site walk?
Sure.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I can.
Any suggestions as a date and time?
It's going to be 55 degrees this play around this week.
Friday, it's gonna be warm.
Yeah.
It's gonna rain though, right?
I don't know. They're saying it's
Yeah, I
going to rain.
think so.
I don't know, I can't actually do Friday, but if it works for you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna rain in the morning.
Mine shows rain most of the day on Friday, so.
I could do Wednesday. Does that work at all?
That would be better for me.
Wednesday afternoon, I'm tied up in the morning.
Afternoon should work.
Let's see.
Which day?
Yeah, I have my own Wednesday afternoon is free.
Same.
You think how late in the afternoon?
I don't know, what time can you make it back up?
You could get there by like 2:33.
You don't want to go too much later because it's going to get
Yeah, it's
dark.
gonna get dark.
Yeah.
How much time do you need?
So it's pretty easy to access the site. We can go to the back parking lot of 140 Washington Street, and then it's just right to the back there. I guess it's the site, though, out by the wetlands, it would take a little bit to traverse out there, and we gotta get through all the briars.
So, 3.
Sure. Yeah.
David, okay for 3?
Yeah, what day?
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
The 17th, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's clear skies, you got probably an hour and a half, hour, 15 minutes before you get lost.
It'll be a little bit warmer, not quite as warm as Thursday and Friday, but
Yeah.
it's still going to be over 40, so
Okay.
we won't freeze to death out there.
Yeah, so the survey crew has gone out there and they marked the erosion control as well as the buildings
Okay.
within the buffer zone, so we'll be able to orientate ourselves out there.
All righty. Let's plan that, and then, so I want to make a motion to continue until,
All right, hold.
oop,
So the
okay.
next meeting is January 12th.
Yeah,
You are not going to be here.
correct.
This is all we have right now. So if the 4 of you can all guarantee that you'll be here on January 12th, we can schedule a meeting for January 12th. That is our only meeting in January. The next meeting after that is February 2nd.
I will be here.
I'm planning to be here.
Can you make it?
Hold on one sec.
Okay.
All right, so that's January 12th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
yes.
Okay. David? Okay.
So far. So far, unless babysitting changes.
All right. All right, good. So continue till January 4th?
12th.
12th, yeah. I'm looking at something else here. So everybody want to make that motion?
Make a motion to continue the meeting for plans for 138 Washington Street, number NOI to be determined, till January 12th meeting.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
And we have a continuation for number 2 Eisenhower Lane, 157666. Mr. Leslie.
Hi, Rich Leslie with Bay Colony Group. I'm here to answer a question that was raised back during the notice of intent filing for 2 Eisenhower Lane, Lot 1. It was a commission's question regarding the fee ownership of the Ponce Reservoir. That meeting was November 3rd. On November 5th, I sent correspondence to the board that I believe you all have copies of. It's a deed that deeds the Ponce Reservoir Dam and the Ponce Reservoir itself to the town of Foxborough and was accepted by its Conservation Commission. And the 2 plans referenced in that deed. So the long and the short of it is, and I said it in my correspondence on November 5th, Part 1 of that deed deeded the dam. Part 2 of that deed granted all the property and water impounded by the construction of the Neponset Reservoir Dam, known as comprising the Neponset Reservoir. So, in fact, the town was deeded all the submerged land, and that's in Part 2 of that deed. It's very specific. So this has to do with, because they're doing a dock, proposing a dock on Lot 1, which is the same that was proposed on lots 3 and 4, which were approved. So I wrote the letter, I was asked to answer about the fee, and that's all I can tell you is that the town does own the fee in the submerged lands.
That was my thought, but I know, it seems to me there are a few lots that, I think off of, over Whispering Pines, is it Whispering Pines, that development, seemed to me some of their lots did extend into the water, if I'm not mistaken, but that was.
Same thing off of Beach Street, the Inman lot. We did that 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
And the deed referenced a plan that closed out at the reservoir and stuff.
yeah.
You don't know how well those titles were run, if they even referenced this, or when the Ponce Reservoir Company actually obtained the fee in those lands. You know, it would be a deed to them, and they list this deed is several pages long, and it lists 28 different grants of land. If you flip it over, I'm thinking that probably in those 28 deeds over the course, Whispering Pines,
Yeah,
off of Beach Street, stuff like that was probably probably taken or paid. You have to pay a fee whenever you do a taking, so they have to be reimbursed. And it just doesn't get picked up.
okay. But thank you for answering that question. Did you have any other comments, David? Because
Well, yeah, I
think-
brought it up only because it shows on the assessors map that is a separate lot, right
That-
next to the,
That there is a separate lot.
right.
But
I know
we're
part of it's underwater, it appears, but they didn't show the property line as to where it ends.
It's the edge of the water. And there is a separate parcel that was
Right.
granted, but in this case, we were asked to answer, in the Ponce Reservoir separates them, so it is here, in this case, we're talking about the reservoir, we're not talking about that separate parcel.
But did the separate lot get picked up by the town, or is it included in those?
I think this is, I'm pretty sure on my plan, that there is, let me see. There may have been a book and page reference for that parcel when we did the subdivision plan. I believe that was I believe it's a separate conveyance. It has nothing, it's separate from the reservoir.
Sometimes there might be restrictions on it, or if it's a donation, there might be a restriction that the person puts on it, or the town took a textile. You know how Dave went out after some of these lots
Yeah,
and tried to, acquire them at a real low fee.
I'm not seeing it on there. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't have a copy of that subdivision plan. But I do believe that that was separate from the reservoir itself, the fee in the reservoir. And we're proposing the dock would be in the submerged lands of the reservoir. Any other questions?
No.
thank you for that information and your research.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well. Do you have anything to add, Greg? Oh, yes, you,
Just that, yeah, so this dock, as part of this, is
the tree.
the same as.
Yeah.
Oh, but so for this, this lot, we need to close and vote on to issue, whether or not to issue an order of conditions for
Oh,
this
okay.
project.
This
That was
one-
not
Okay,
completed at the last meeting.
all right. Someone want to make a motion to close the hearing for 157666?
I think we already closed the hearing.
It was continued.
Don't ask me, I wasn't here.
Just
Yeah.
took additional
We
information.
just took information, so.
Wait,
we
Craig
could-
explained it to me as you guys kind of talked about closing it, not closing it, and then
Yes.
this whole thing about the land underwater
Yeah.
came through, so I
So
don't think
we
it was
did not
closed.
close it.
So that's why I said you could proceed tonight, so.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing on 2 Eisenhower Lane, DP number 157666.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right.
And then for
So
issuing.
have you got the order of conditions?
Yeah, he's got an order written, he just needs to add the special conditions, but you can sign the order
Okay.
tonight.
So I want to make a motion to sign the order of conditions.
This has a 5-foot wide path.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
The 5-foot path and there's 2 feet buffer for limited work, but the path itself is 5 feet.
Let's see if we can keep it.
Do you want me to make a motion? Make a
Sure.
motion to sign an order of conditions for 2 Eisenhower Lane, DP number 157666.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Thank you.
Where do you want us to, you want everybody to meet in the back part of that parking lot?
Yeah, so if you go to 140 Washington Street and just drive all the way up back,
Okay.
there should be parking back there. We can sneak into the back lot.
Now you want to talk about tree removal?
So I have,
Yep. There's a bunch of businesses in here that face up. That's good.
so I was contacted by somebody looking to remove some trees from resource areas on their property that they believe are hazardous trees. And so I consulted our hazardous tree removal policy that was accepted in 2021. And we require professional arborists to identify the trees as hazardous. Specifically, a professional arborist accredited by the Tree Care Industry Association, so that's TCIA. I consulted some arborists, colleagues of mine, or yes, arborists I know. I reached out, talked to a few, and it was recommended that we, in addition to that accreditation, also accept the International Society of Arboriculture. That's the ISA. They offer a tree risk assessment qualification, TRAQ, called the TRAC. I think we should also accept this accreditation, and specifically for identifying and treating and managing hazardous trees. And it's a course that professional arborists have to take, or there is a course that they have to take in order to get this certification. They have to be a certified professional arborist already before they can take this certification. It's just a little bit more specialized, and I think it would also increase the number of people qualified to identify these hazardous trees. So this is just basically a very small change I'm suggesting to our policy. I don't know how that fully happens, I believe is something that would.
I mean,
need
you
to be-
guys voted in the policy, so I think you can update it,
Yeah, we can
revise
revise.
it, and then
Yeah.
it would just have a new revision date.
So, yeah, this would just allow, it would give me the ability to sign off on emergency removal of these designated hazardous trees as well.
Sounds good. I mean, it opens it up to additional qualified.
Yeah, it's just a small
Arborists
thing.
to
I was
make a
looking for
decision.
lists of the TCIA in the area, and it was pretty small, and
Does it have a definition of hazardous?
Falls in your house. Looks bad.
A lot of people, some people will call hazardous, but it's a good, won't affect your house or property, and it's good wildlife habitat, and it's in the 25-foot zone. But they just want to remove it because they want the view.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we
Right, that's-
ask an arborist to come in, right? So they can't just claim it's without some sort of professional backing them up.
I'll make a motion to revise, as you've suggested, the hazardous tree policy.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? None?
Neat.
Thank you.
And as a last thing, as Diana's already sort of mentioned, it's tough to get quorum. We're very limited right now, and Rich Galemi is will be stepping down in the future from his role on the commission. So if you have suggestions or you know people that are interested in joining the commission, reach out, let us know, and have them contact the town.
Okay, we'll have to check, see if anybody has, I think in the back of our annual report, there's a form, if anybody's interested. We'll check with Bob Cutler and see if anybody has signed up for that. I think he's the keeper of that, isn't he, or is
Yeah, I'm
town-
not sure if it's administration or the clerk's office, but one or the
Okay.
other.
Either Katie or Bob. Okay. We'll miss Rich. So,
He was, I think he served for 9 years, and so it's very appreciated, and yeah, he will be missed.
Yep, it will be.
anything else?
That's all from me.
That's all I got.
We'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second?
That didn't take long. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None? Thank you very much.